Welcome to Connect TV. Today we have this algebraic expression that is square root of algebra. We are asked to find the value of b. Given that square root of b plus square root of minus b is equal to 12. Let's get started. Square root of b plus square root of minus b is equal to 12. To solve this is somehow logical, but looking at this video, try to watch this video to the end so that you'll be able to know how to get this kind of square root of algebra of this kind. So I have square root of b to be equal to 12 minus square root of minus b. That is, I make square root of b at the side of the formula, squaring both sides. So I'll be having, after I square the both, I'll be having square root of b to be equal to 12 minus square root of minus b. Then applying square to both sides. So I have my parentheses then. So the square will cancel the square root. I will now be having b to be equal to 12 minus square root of minus b, everything close bracket, then squared. Now, if you look at this follows the format of a minus b, everything squared. So if you have a minus b, everything squared, and you expand that, that will give you a square plus b square minus 2ab. So let's now apply this to the above line. I will now be having b to be equal to 12 squared plus square root of minus b, everything squared, minus 2 times 12 multiplied by square root of minus b. Now, let's try and factorize this and move on. B will now be equal to 12 times 12. That will give us 144 plus minus b. That is, the square has cancelled out the square root. So, minus 24, that is 2 times 12 times square root of minus b. b will now be equal to 144. So minus times plus, that will give us minus b minus 24 square root of minus b. Now, once you understand it up to this stage, the next thing is to take b to the left hand side. So I will now be having b plus b to be equal to 144 minus 24 square root of minus b. And don't forget, b plus b will give us 2b. That's 2b will now be equal to 144 minus 24 square root of minus b. Once you understand it up to this stage, it's easy now and straightforward. So the next thing we'll be doing is to factor out 2 from our right hand side. Now we are having 24b to be equal to 2 square root of 72 minus 12 square root of b. So divide both sides by 2. Divide both sides by 2. 2 we cancel 2. We are left with b to be equal to 2. 2 has cancelled out 2. So 72 minus 12 square root of minus b. Now, to make our work easier and faster, let's try and take 72 to our left hand side. Now we are having b minus 72. So, to be equal to minus 12 square root of minus b. So, if you look at this b minus 72, it has also followed the previous method that you have. So, b minus 72 to be equal to minus 12 square root of minus b. Now, squaring both sides, we'll now be having b minus 72 to be equal to minus 12 square root of minus b. So square both sides. So apply square to both sides. So that's what I just did. So after applying square to both sides, and if you look at that, it has followed a minus b, everything squared, to be equal to, because when you expand that, you'll be having a square plus b square minus 2ab. So let's now apply this principle to the above line. we'll now be having b squared, so plus 72 squared minus 2 times b times 72. Everything will now be equal to, because we've squared our right hand side, so everything now be equal to minus 12. If you split that squared, then square root of minus b, that will take its own square as well squared. Yes. Now let's move on. We now have b squared plus 72 squared minus 2 times 7, that will give us 144. That's 144b. So now be equal to minus times minus, that will give us plus, then 12 times 12, that will give us 144. Multiplied by the square has cancelled out the square root, we are left with minus b. So what we are having now, we are having b squared plus 72 squared minus 144b to now be equal to 144 times minus b. Now b squared plus 72 squared, so minus 144b will now be equal to minus 144b. If you multiply 144 by minus b, now b squared plus 72 squared will now be equal to minus 144b plus 144b. That is, if you take minus 144b to your left, to your right hand side, so it will be plus 144b. Now we are having b squared plus 72 squared to now be equal to 0. So after this, let's now take 72 squared to our right hand side. We now be having b squared will now be equal to minus into bracket 72, everything squared. Now if you want to take square root of both sides, so to make our work easier and faster, and so that we'll be able to get rid of the squared, so we now have b squared to be equal to minus into bracket 72, everything squared. Now taking square root of both sides, we apply square root to left hand side, we apply square root to our right hand side. So the square has cancelled out the square root. We are having b to be equal to, so b to be equal to, because the square has cancelled out the square root. So we now split what we have on our right hand side. That is, b will now be equal to square root of 72 squared multiplied by square root of minus 1. And note that from complex number, square root of minus 1 will be equal to I. Note that. So once square root of minus 1 is I, so we are left with b to be equal to, the square has cancelled out the square root, so 72 multiplied by I. So with that, since square root of minus 1 is I, so now I have 72 times I, therefore the final answer for B will now be equal to 72I. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more videos. Thank you.